Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad to see you made it again. This is day 7, which is a really exciting day. If I make it, well, when I make it to the end of the day, I will have finished a whole week of low-carb eating and exercising. I will have done it without any cheating whatsoever and really pretty much no trouble. And I'll get on the scale tomorrow and see if I've lost any weight, and if so, how much. So this morning I'm about to make some, well, it's actually lunchtime. I'm about to make some bacon and eggs for lunch, which is a great meal because it's basically 0 carbs. Bacon doesn't have any, eggs have minimal, less than 1. So it's a great meal, and it's very tasty, and I love bacon. Bacon is a fantastic low-carb snack. And it's got lots of protein and lots of good fats. So once I've made the bacon and eggs for breakfast, I may even make some extra bacon just to have around the house for snacking today. So that's all I got right now. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get this bacon started, and then if I think of something later, I'll get back with you. See you later. Well, hey, welcome back. I just want to say that lunch was amazing. I'm just a firm believer that bacon makes everything better. I absolutely love bacon, whether I'm dieting or not dieting. Bacon and that thick sliced bacon, boy, that stuff is good. But anyway, I came back because I thought I'd spend a little bit of time talking about why low-carb diets work, specifically why the low-carb diet works for me. And it's my understanding that the reason that a low-carb diet works is that when you eat too many high-carbohydrate foods, things like sugar and white bread and potatoes, that causes your insulin to spike, and that insulin spiking is what causes the weight gain. And it can even cause things like heart disease and such. My husband Jim's here with me. He's operating the camera, so you can't see him, but I'm going to ask him to explain that a little bit more because he understands it a little bit better than I do.
Well, anytime the insulin spikes, you're going to start eating carbs. Insulin prevents the body from being able to withdraw the fat from the fat cells to burn it for energy, so it's got to go to something else. So
what I think I understand is that when I limit the amount of carbs that I eat, there's no insulin, or I'm not sure about that part, but that forces my body to use the fat that's stored in my body as fuel. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And it does take a few days, they say about 3 days, of very low carb consumption before the body begins to burn fat.
Okay, so like the first 3 days are kind of just a wash, huh?
Yeah, they really are, and that's what makes going off the diet a little tough, because if you slow down that trigger, then you basically got to spend another 3 days in order to get the fat burning going again. A lot of people get on the diet and they think, well, this weekend I'm going to eat whatever I want to. Well, when you do that, you're not going to start burning fat again until probably about Thursday, and then you're going to go off the following weekend. So you don't have very many good days.
So you're only getting about 2 days of fat burning when you do that. I understand. And then the other thing I think I understand is that when I eat a higher protein diet, it causes me to not have hunger pains, or as many hunger pains. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. It causes a hormone release that keeps your body from telling you you're hungry. Don't know what it's called, and that brings up a very important point. We need to point out that we don't know very much about anything. Don't take our advice. Read up on it yourself. They always say a doctor before starting a weight loss program. All that good stuff, and we're certainly not trying to be doctors here.
Yeah, we're not doctors. We're not scientists. We're just telling you a little bit about it, so maybe we can explain why it works for us. And our background with it is that about 20 years ago, we both were overweight and decided we needed to do something about it. And as I've said, I kept that weight off for a long time, but finally just you know, the pandemic was part of it, but it had started before then. I wasn't taking care of my body. So anyway, you know, it's not that the diet didn't work. I didn't work at the diet, but I kept it off for a long time. But when we did that, I know I lost more than 70 pounds. And Jim, you lost?
I lost about 100 pounds, and we were on it for just about a year.
Yeah. And like I said, we did keep that off for a long time. I actually have history with the diet from way back. My dad, back in probably the 70s, went on Atkins and lost a great deal of weight. He actually chose it for a whole different reason, though. He chose it because back then they called it the drinking man's diet, because you could still have alcohol as long as you mixed it with a sugar-free drink. You could have alcohol on this diet. Most diets you couldn't have alcohol on. But anyway, it worked for him, and when I decided I wanted to try losing some weight, I started looking into this. And the other reason I think that it works for me is it's so simple. I know there's a lot of people out there doing keto or Atkins or just high protein, and they have all these different recipes to make all these great foods. But for me, it's just easy because counting carbs is so simple. You look on the back of a package and it tells you how many it has. You know, I know that with vegetables you have to subtract the fiber so that you end up with the net carbs, but still, I mean, it's just super easy. So counting carbs is easy. The food that I make, I don't do anything fancy. I just do meats and some vegetables. It's just easy. And it's easy because I don't have to, you know, try to figure out any big formula. I just look at the Atkins list, and if the food is on it, I go ahead and eat it. If the food's not on it, I don't eat it. But that brings me a little bit to the diet. It's actually made up of 4 phases. The first one being induction, and that's about the only one Jim and I know anything about, right, Jim?
Yeah, we just started induction and never quit. It's the fastest weight loss.
Yeah, so with induction, you're supposed to have about 20 carbs a day, and they do suggest that most of those carbs come from what they call, what do they call those? Foundation vegetables, you know, things like broccoli and cauliflower and green beans and asparagus and spinach. Foundation vegetables that are high in fiber but low in carbs. So the idea is you do induction for at least 2 weeks, and then after that you can move on to the other phases as you choose. But anyway, we feel like this is a diet that works for us, but I want to really stress that I'm a firm believer that if you're trying to lose weight, you have to find what works for you. You know, my son has tried this diet. He just said he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. So that's not the right diet for him, or it wasn't the right diet at the right time. I don't know. The point is, find out what works for you. This is what works for me. What about you, Jim?
Yeah, it works for me too. You know, I tried the Bluebell diet for a while, and I just couldn't lose any weight. In fact, I kept putting weight on, so I went back to Atkins.
For any of you that don't live in the Texas South area, Bluebell is the best ice cream in the whole wide world. Yeah, that Bluebell diet, it's a good diet though, huh?
I know. I tried up to a gallon a day, but it just didn't work.
And I've tried things like the pizza diet and the cookie diet. Those don't work either, but they are fun. I will admit that. Is there anything else you want to say about low carb or high protein diets at this time, or?
No, I don't know that much, except I can tell you from personal experience that once you're on it for a while, you're almost never hungry, and you feel good. You have lots of energy, and you know, the only downside to it is that the foods are so few that you do sometimes just feel like I just don't want another egg. Yeah. But you feel good. It does your body well. Yeah,
it's worth it. And he's absolutely right about the fact that after a while you just don't get that hungry. You don't think about eating near as much, and that's definitely a plus. My attitude on this diet is mostly that I need to teach myself that food is fuel, and that's all. Food is fuel. It's not entertainment. It's not pleasure, it's not reward. I use food for all the wrong reasons. So that's my biggest goal, if I've never said that, is to help myself understand and believe that food is for fuel. It fuels my body. If I can do that and get rid of all those other things, I think I will have been done. I think I will have done a great thing. So, I guess if Jim doesn't have anything else to say?
Nope, that's all.
Nothing else from the peanut gallery. All right, well, I guess I'll end that here tonight, and I hope that little bit of information about why this particular diet works for us has been helpful for you. But as I said, remember, just find one that works for you if you're interested. I'm going to say less fat, have more fun, live a healthy lifestyle, and just be happy.